Here is Greg Gardner, the Chief Architect, Defense and Intelligence Solutions for NetApp. Greg was Deputy CIO for the intelligence community, where he played a key role developing that community's information systems. Greg is a West Point grad, a retired Army colonel, and has a master's degree from Purdue University. Welcome. Thank you for coming.
Thanks, man.
Always nice to see you.
Hi, everybody. So I wanted to do something a little bit different here. We're here to talk about the future of federal IT, and I told Mac I wanted to focus on innovation in the Defense Department. And it's real easy to throw stones at how things are happening. You can look at the AI, talk about AI, the AI requirements in Section 238 of the current NDAA are like overwhelming on what the Defense Department has to do. We talk about the challenges they have in talent acquisition and training and risk management. But I wanted to take it and look at it from a slightly different perspective. So let me kind of tell you a story to start off with. So Larry tells us that data is the new bacon, right, Larry? That's what we said. Well, we learned when I was in the CIO business that bacon's no good unless you cook it, right? Then it's consumable. So we said that our challenge was to deliver cooked bacon to any user anywhere in the world at any time, securely, limited by policy, not technology. That sound about right? I mean, that's what we ought to be able to do if we're really fully capable. And we had some challenges with that. And within the DoD, back in 2012, Terry Takai published a DoD mobile device strategy that kind of captured the policy and the approach by which we were supposed to create this mobile capability. Nothing happened for a couple of years. In the meantime, our team, I'm with NetApp now, as you heard from Mac, been working with the Army on how to move data from a handheld device into the cloud, do analytics in the cloud, and bring that cooked bacon back down to the user. And so we're working with, Shannon will be happy to know, we're using one of the Lambda services in AWS Marketplace. It's an AWS service called Recognition Software. And it allows us to take, if we preload photographs of people into the marketplace, we can take pictures, send it up to the cloud, validate who that is at a certain percentage of recognition, bring it back down. And so for folks on the ground in Iraq and Afghanistan, we have found this to be a very useful solution for being able to actually find the bad guys and hold them. So we've been doing this. I was so impressed with this that Shannon and I went out and talked to your guys out there by Dulles, and I said, "How do you do this? What's your philosophy? How do you do this business?" And they told me, they said it's four things. It's a customer obsession. It's long-term thinking. They said if you want to be innovative, you got to be willing to fail, and you also got to be willing to be misunderstood for a long period of time. So I said, okay, that's interesting. But how did you build these services? And so they said, well, this is how we build these cloud-based, quickly built, interrelated microservices, single purpose, connect via APIs, connect over HTTPS, build it using tools developed by other teams, make it appear as a black box, and put small teams with P&L responsibility in charge of it. That sound about right? That's what I heard from your team. So this is really good. And I said, okay, now I kind of understand how we get these great services from AWS Marketplace that are so easy to access and so usable. And so I said, God, it'd be great if the government could do that. But the people that do this within the government are DISA, right? And you know the old saw. You can't spell disaster without DISA. You can't spell disappointment without DISA. And that's the reputation that DISA has had. But the other day, DISA had their forecast industry. And I found something there that I wanted to share with you all, and frankly, it's a really good story. So starting in 2015, 2016, remember the policy on this came out in 2012. Think about the long-term view that AWS takes. By 2015, 2016, DISA had rolled out what they call the Defense Mobility Unclassified Capability. The unfortunate acronym is DMUC. So DMUC is now on the street, and it works for all of the DODN. It works for enterprise computing, but it's all on the DoD networks. It brings with us mobile device management. It brings with it mobile application store, and it's pretty good, but it's only for DoD users, and so it's kind of limited. And then this last August, in August of 2018, DoD opened up that aperture, and it is now all of the stuff that's available out there. Now it's got to be a government purchased handheld that you do this on, so it's got some limitations, but that's how you get security on the network. They now have upgraded it so it works on all government issued devices and allows them to access any internal government network or any service for unclassified purposes. So this is interesting. So any government organization for $4.18 per device per month can run this service on their handheld devices. So this is really powerful. In fact, there are now over 200,000 users that are using DMUC, and they are adding 1,000 devices a day into the DMUC enterprise. If you watched what happened during the hurricane in the Carolinas, most of the first responders, certainly the federal first responders, were using this DMUC capability to share information. Remember when Elizabeth talked to us about the 311 capability of taking pictures of those potholes and sending it into the government? Exactly that was being used by these folks over DMUC. So what I wanted to share with you all today, well, it's obviously our government has challenges. Obviously, as David tells us, there's problems with funding and there's problems with executing that funding. And it's easy to point at areas where we're not doing as well as we could. But in this case, with DMUC at DISA, I think we have a lot to be proud of in how our government, our Defense Department, our DISA is operating in very much the same way that those that we have talked about here today. So on Snowball and on my visit out to AWS and how they do business, DISA is now operating in that same mode, and I think that's something for us all to be proud of and to feel good about, that we're really starting to make things happen within the DoD from an innovation standpoint. That's all I have. Thanks a lot, Matt.
Thank you very much, Greg.